Hello and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and today I'm hoping the puzzle will take me slightly less time than yesterday's mammoth video. This one is by Robert King, who goes by the pseudonym Rob K over on Logic Masters Germany and our Discord server, and I think it's his debut on the channel. It's called Highs and Lows, and I have had a sneak peek at the rule set, and I'm a bit perturbed, to be honest. I have no idea how this is going to yield a unique solution. So I'll read out the rules in a second. Couple of things to mention. Firstly, a big thank you to all those of you who answered Marge's call for help, which we announced in yesterday's video. Marge was left a Sudoku in her grandfather's will, of all things. And look, I've got a picture of it here. There you go. That's what she was left in the will. And apparently solving this puzzle and doing the correct things with it has led people onto other puzzles. So it's some sort of treasure hunt, which basically makes Marge's grandfather just about the coolest man alive. Well, actually dead, I suppose. The coolest man dead. So if you've not had a look at Marge's puzzle or the grandfather's puzzle, do check it out. You can get it on our Twitter account, which is @CrypticCracking, and I certainly recommend it. Other than that, on Patreon, big thank you to those of you who support the channel on Patreon, of course. We do try and make it worthwhile with lots of extra content over there, the most recent being my attempt at PHISTOMEFEL'S logic puzzle Sisyphus. So have a look at that if you've not had a look at it. It is a brilliant puzzle, which is all you'd expect from the great man. And of course, on the channel as a bonus this morning, we released Mark's attempt at a world record. He tries to solve the Times cryptic crossword as fast as he can. I'm not going to tell you whether he achieves it or not, but I will tell you it's not a long video, and it is definitely worth watching. Now, what are the rules of Rob K's puzzle? Here we go. Normal Sudoku rules apply. All pairs of cells which share an edge and whose values add to 5 are marked with a V. All which add to 10 are marked with an X. Within any given cage, either all of the cells have values less than 5, or they all have values greater than 5. So, what do these rules mean? Well, you can see there are actually no V's or X's in the grid, so I'm guessing that means that any domino in this puzzle cannot sum to 5 or to 10. So this 8 clue, for example, I think what we're being told sort of sotto voce there is that none of these yellow squares can be a 2, because if they were a 2, if we did try and put a 2 here, then there should be an X delineating sort of at the boundary of this domino between the 2 and the 8, and there isn't. So, and apart from that, in each of the cages, either all the digits are above 5 or they're below 5, but we don't know whether, for example, this is full of 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s, or it's full of 6s, 7s, 8s and 9s. That is something we're going to have to discover. So do have a go. The way to play, as usual on Cracking the Cryptic, is to click the link under the video. Now I get to play Let's Get Cracking. I don't know how difficult this puzzle is meant to be. My only guidance to that is the rules, which seem incredibly difficult. Now, I suppose if we know cages contain either 6, 7s, 8s, 9s, or 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, what we know about them is they don't contain 5s. So the 5 in box 9 must be in one of 2 places. 3 places in box 6 there. Just 2 places in box 3. 2 places in box 1. That means 2 places in box 2. That means we get to say bobbins, I think. There doesn't seem to be a lot we can do with the strange patterns in boxes 4, 5, 7 and 8. Okay, so it's not 5s. 5s are not the way into this puzzle. Don't spend too long thinking about 5s. We're going to have to look for something better. Okay, this is interesting. Box 9 is interesting because we've got 2 3-cell cages. So what we can say with some certainty is that these cages cannot both be highs or both be lows, because there are only 4 digits higher than 5 in a Sudoku, 6, 7, 8 and 9. There's only 4 digits lower than 5, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you can't make 6 digits, you can't squeeze 4 digits into 6 cells. So one of these is going to be high, one of these is going to be low. Now we already have a 1 outside the cages. So one of these cages is a 2, 3, 4 combination. Which, do we know which one somehow? The answer is no. The answer is no, we don't. One of these is 2, 3, 4. Ah, right. We can do a trick though, can't we? When in doubt, do a trick, because what we have got to make sure is that the 4 plays gooseberry. It's got to keep the 2 and the 3 apart, because if the 2 and the 3 are together, imagine those were a 2-3 pair, there should be a V between them, and there isn't. So the 2 and 3 have been naughty and need to be separated, which means the 4, whether this is the low digit or whether this is the lowest digit, the 4 must always sit between the 2 and the 3. So the 4 is always in the middle of its cage. Now that's going to be absolutely useless. Look, that does nothing at all. I don't think. No, I don't think that does anything. Okay, so that was a good thought which led nowhere. So we're going to have to find other thoughts that are more bountiful. Where are those thoughts coming from? We can we do anything with that? That's either going to be 6, 7, 8 and 9 or 1, 2, 3 and 4. I was wondering about, I think 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s are much more restricted than 6, 7s, 8s and 9s, because at least 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s have the opportunity to add up to 5. But you could still, you could sort of alternate the 1s and 4s down here like that, or the other way round. So even if this was low digits, it's perfectly possible to keep the 1s and 4s and the 2s and 3s from getting together. What about this cage? Can we do anything with this box? We've got lots of cages in it. Right, okay, well that domino, whatever, if this is high or low, it's got to be different to this domino, because if these were all the same, there would be 5 high digits or 5 low digits. That doesn't work. Yeah, okay, so this is the same as this. If this is low, this is low, and if this is high, this is high. Don't know what that means though. Oh dear, sorry about this. I'm not doing very well here at all. So we know that this domino is a 5 together with whatever this one is. I've got no clue. Okay, so where do we look next? Oh, bobbins, right, okay. This square, this cage is important. Why is this cage important? Well, it has quite an interesting geometric feature, which is this square. This square sees the other 3 squares in it. So how can this possibly be a low cage? It can't be, because whatever I put in there will connect to all 3 other digits, and therefore one of these will create a 5 combination. So, you know, if this is a 1, where do you put the 4 in the box to not make a 5? It's impossible. If that's a 2, where do you hide the 3? You can't, etc. You can't hide the 2, and you can't hide a 1 from a 4. So this cage, at least, we do know what's going on in. That's got to be a high cage. Now, does that give me the opportunity to colour it in? I think so. We shall select the propitious colour of purple. So we'll use purple and green. Purple will be high digits, so anything higher than 5. Green will be low digits, so let's do that one and that one, just for the sake of good order. So Right, got it. Okay, now at least I'm starting to think, because this can't be purple, because if that's purple, where do all these purple digits hide in box 5? Well, the answer is they couldn't hide in box 5, because all 4 high digits, this would be 6, 7, 8 and 9, this would be 6, 7, 8 and 9, so none of those squares can be 6, 7, 8 and 9. We'd have to put 6, 7, 8 and 9 in column 6, and we'd have to squeeze all of them into those 3 squares, and no matter how hard we compress them, they won't fit. We can't put 3 digits or 4 digits into 3 cells. So this one is green. Now, my phone's buzzing at me. It was ever thus. Does that mean we can do something? Yeah, okay, yes we can, can't we? Because the rest of this box is made up of 4 purples and a 5. Well, I can't put 2 purples here, because that will mean that column 4 has 5 purples in it, and it must only have 4 purples because there are only 4 digits higher than 5. So one of these 2 squares needs to be a 5, and the only one that can be a 5 is that one. So that must be well, therefore the rest of this is purple. Therefore I've got my 4 purples in column 4, therefore all of those turn green. And suddenly there might be a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know why I'm saying that when I've got 1 digit in the grid. Now, what does that mean? So maybe I can do some. Yes, I can. Look, I can do something similar in box 8. These 2 squares have to be either green or 5. They can't both be green, or that's 5 greens in the column. So there's a 5 in one of those and a green. Therefore, all 3 of those must be green. This, yeah, here we go. This domino can't be green, or there's 5 greens in box 5, so that's purple. That completes the purples for column 6, so there's a 5 in one of those 2. There's a 5 and a green. Yes, there's a 5 and a green, so those must be purple. Yeah, that sounds sensible, doesn't it? Purple, sorry, not green. So now I've... Oh, okay, so now these are a green 5 combination and these are a purple. No, these are a green 5 and these are a green 5. Okay, that's good. But I don't know... that's green, so that must be green. Oh, this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. So the question to ask is, can that be green? The answer is no, because this is now that in disguise. What does that mean? Well, what do we do with this square if these 4 squares are all green? That's got to be a 1, 2, 3 or a 4. It's orthogonally connected to all its friends, and therefore it will be naughty. It will connect. One of these dominoes will add up to 5, and that will break the puzzle because there are no V's. So therefore, that is not green. That must be purple. And that must be important. Maybe. Hang on a sec. Let me just figure out why that might matter. It matters because... I don't know, actually. Do we know, therefore, what this is? I don't think we do. Is it possible now for these to both be purple or both be... Well, they need to either both be purple or both be green. Don't see why anything is not possible there. Oh dear, I've sort of reached a bit of an impasse. Can we do anything with these boxes in box 9 again? Yes, I can. I can. This can't be purple. If that's purple, what are we going to make this domino? Well, it can't be purple anymore because we've got 4 purples in row 8. So that would have to be green, which means this has to be green. But this has to also be green because this is purple, and I'd have 5 greens in row 7. So that's most certainly not green. It's not purple. So it is green, and this is beautiful. That gives me another digit, because now where does the 4 go in this box? We know that the 4 must be in the centre of a 2-3 pair. That's no longer possible to be 4. These have to turn purple. We've got 4 purples in row 7, so that must be green. And we have got all the greens in row 8. But we don't know where the 5 goes. Oh, we've got all the purples in row 7. So we need... that's annoying. Look, we've got 3 cells to fill, and we know these cells are a 5 and 2 greens. And in this row, we've got 3 cells to fill, and we know those cells are 2 purples and a 5. And in either case, we've got no clue what the order is. So this is a 5 purple domino. This is a 5 purple domino. What about this 2x2? Can we do something with that then? I can see that it's not possible for these to both be purple, because that would make those both purple and be 5 purples in row 5. If these were both greens, that breaks, not because of the 2x2, but because that forces both of those squares to be purple, because they're in cages, so they can't be 5, and that puts 5 purples in row 4. So these 2 dominoes here are one of each colour. And this one always completes its quota for column 8. So it's either going to make 4 purples or 4 greens. I'm not actually sure this is getting me anywhere though. What else can we do? I don't think it can possibly be Sudoku. I mean, I can see this square can't be a 6 anymore, because then it would have to have an X to connect to a 4. But knowing this is 7, I suppose it's only... Yeah, hang on, that's only 7 or 9, therefore, because it can't be 6 and it can't be 8 by Sudoku. So that is more restricted than I realised. But it's still not restricted enough to be useful. Okay. Where do I look now? I don't feel like this box is useful, but that might prove to be famous last words. What can we do with this box? Let's have a think about this. We know that these 2 are the same colour. So, if these were both green, what does that do to the world? That puts purple here. That completes purple for row 3. Alright, I can't see what's wrong with that. If these are both purple, on the other hand, that completes purple for row 2 instead. So purple always gets completed in one of row 2 or row 3. Purple. So if this is green, I can get this one. Good grief, this is really clever. Now, how do I get this one? Well, it's because there must always be one green in those 3 squares, either because these are both green, or because this is green and therefore these are both purple, and I need a green in one of these 2 squares. So there's always a green. It's exactly one green, in fact, in one of these 3 squares. Now that green accompanies those 2 greens to make 3 greens. I can't make 5 greens, so that must be purple. But this is beautiful. Now look at column 8. That must be green, because if it's purple, there are 5 purples. And we've already done the work on this. We knew these were different colours, so that must be purple. That completes purple. Yeah, oh look, it completes purple for row 5, but it also means that's green, because otherwise there's 5 purples. Now what do we do? So now we've got, I've done all of my purples for row 5. I've got this situation again where I've got 3 cells, but one of them is a 5. And I might know that the other 2 are the same colour, they're green, but I don't know where they go. I need to have... Oh dear. Okay. I've done my... Yeah, I've got the same in column 8, look. I've done my greens. I need 1 purple and 1 5. I've got 2 of each here. That's not helpful. This one, is there something about this one that we can use? Oh, good grief. Right, that's absolutely incredible. Look, if that's purple, you've broken box 6 now. Because I've got 4 purples in this column, so these can't be purple. I've got 4 purples in row 6, so that can't be purple. And that I've only got 3 purples in my box. And don't put only 3 purples in your box, or you're in all sorts of trouble in any number of ways. So what does that mean? That means that can't be purple. That must be green. That's... I was about to say that's... Oh, it is good, but it's not good in this column, where it looks like it might be good but then isn't really good. It's good in this row because I've got 3 greens. So this one is purple. Otherwise we get 5 greens. Those are all greens now. And now I've coloured in all of the cages, which is... that does feel like a minor triumph. And I can... What can I do with that? I can get that square, I think. Because I know that there's a purple in one of those 2 squares. So this square can't be purple and can't be 5 according to that. So that must be green. Now, let's look at this column now, because I can see at least I know approximately where the 5 goes. So this square, yeah, there's a purple and a 5 here. So the purples are done for column 7, so this must be green. Right, okay. So this is a purple 5 combination. Still got loads of purples to fit into box 6 somewhere. I really need to know more about 5s. Purple. Sorry about this. I'm stuck. I'm stuck, although I feel like I've done okay to get to this point even. Maybe we're not meant to get much further than this without having to actually do... But I don't see how to do Sudoku at this point. Maybe... Where is there a weak cell? No. Oh, come on. Where is the weak cell? Ah, yes, I have found a weak cell. Look at row 5. I've got 4 purples. This square also sees 4 greens. So this square can neither be green nor purple, and that is a weird 5. And that might be useful. No, oh yeah, no, it is useful. It gets me a 5 up here. So now I should be able to get that one to be purple. That means this is purple because I've got the 5 in the column, and this is purple. Now where does the 5 go in row 4? The answer is here. Oh, this is just such a pleasure to solve, and it's also just a lovely, unusual rule set. Now, yeah, I've now got my 5 in row 5, so all I've got to do is colour it in with 2 greens. So, what does that mean? Don't know. So one of these is purple. I can't. This is a green 5 combination. 7. Oh, this is another of those squares. Look, this square here sees 4 greens in its column and 4 purples in its row, so that can only be a 5. That gets me 5s in those 2 squares. That means I should be able to colour that one and colour this one. This column needs several more purples, 3 in fact. Now that might be, oh no, I haven't got the 5, look. There's a 5 in one of those 2 squares. This must be green. And what else can we do with this? We can oh no, this row, so this is one of each. No, there's 4 there, so that must be green. This must be purple. This must be purple. And do we know how to figure out this last bit? Yeah, maybe. Or maybe not, actually. Oh, I've got 4 purples here. Oopsie, I didn't mean to do that. I've got 4 purples here and 4 greens here, so that should be a 5. That should be a 5. Those 2 squares come out. This square's got to be purple. This square's got to be green. And there we have, I think, a colouring of the grid of sorts. So what do we do with this? That is our challenge. We can well, this is weird actually. So we're going to have to find, I'm wondering whether it's simply these given digits now are going to somehow, I can see 2 for example in box 3 is now up in one of those 2 squares, but that doesn't seem to, I mean, that really does nothing. So 4 in box 6 has to be in one of those 2 squares. That's bizarre, isn't it? How on earth are you meant to finish this puzzle from here? Even though we've had some wonderful times together getting to this point, it doesn't seem to be solvable. How do you disambiguate the ordering? I think I'm going mad. I think I'm missing something very fundamental about this, because this does not look to me to be possible to solve. 2s are up here. Is that somehow... It's not doing anything. 4s are here. 2s are up here, so I can't put 3 in this domino. Is that what I'm meant to be figuring? Maybe that's it. I've got to use 3 is therefore up there. And one of those 3 squares. That just does not look useful to me at all. 4s, 1s are here. Ah, there's a little point there with 4. You can't put 4 here, because it then will be next to a 1 and would require a V. So 4 is in one of 2 places in box 8. Ah, this is interesting actually. This is interesting because you can't put 4 there now. Not because of the 4 and the 1. No, you can put 4 there. You can't put 1 there. That's what I was thinking. I was trying to see what it was that would get the 1s and the 4s into these positions. If you get the 1 here, this square has to be a 4, and you have to have a 2-3 pair here, and the 2-3 need to be separated. They are not suitable to go together. So we can't get the 4 position, but we can eliminate the 1 from this square, which is not maybe... Ah, so 1 is in one of those. You see, this is the most minor no, it's maybe not. I was about to say the most minor deduction once you get a 1 in these 3 squares here is that you can't put a 4 in the middle of them again. But actually we've got 4s here, so 4 is in one of 2 places in box. 4 is in one of 2 places in box 5, and one of 2 places in box 4, and 1 is in one of those, one of those 3 squares. So 4 can't be here. So 4 can't be here. So 4 is in one of 3 positions. I'm really trying to sweat these numbers hard, but they are not being very helpful, are they? 4. What am I meant to conclude from this? 4 can't go there. 4 in box 7 is in one of 2 places, which means I can't put 1 here. Oh, this is, oh, good grief. This is I mean, how did you come up with this? How? This is just, it's brilliant. This can't be a 1, because if it's a 1, it's next to one of those 4s. Well, this can't be a 1, because of the given 1, which means there's a 1 in one of those 2 squares, which sees that square, and that square being a 1 actually determines where the 4s go now, because I can't put 4 next to 1. So that should be a 4, which means that should be a 4. That should be a 4. No, should be a 4. So 4 comes out. That means I get 4 in box 5, look. Can I keep this going? That's the question. The answer is I don't know. I've now got a 2-3 pair there. I can't put 1 next to 4, so we can get rid of the 1 from this square. We can't put the 1 here, because if we put the 1 there, that has to be a 2-3 pair, and they need to be separated. So the 1 has to go there, the 3 goes there, the 2 goes there. Now, what does that mean? It means that 1 has to be in one of those 2 squares in box 3. So 1 is in one of these 2 squares in box 6. 1 has to be in one of the extremities. Oh, look, this 4 sees that square. Just very simply. So that can't be 1. Those 2 can't be 1 by Sudoku. So we get the 1 here, which gets us a 1 here, which means 1 is in one of these 2 squares, which means this can't be a 4, because if it's a 4 you have to put the 1 above it, and they would be connected and add to 5. So the 4 comes out of this square and goes into this square, which places the 4 up here, which places the 3 and the 2. I don't believe it. This is now a 2, if I trust my pencil marks, and why wouldn't I? This is a 1 by a weird form of Sudoku. It's a low digit that's not a 2, 3 and 4. Those squares here have to be a 3, 4 pair. We can't put the 2 next to the 3, so the 4 and the 3 get resolved. That's a 4. Now, 2, look, can't go there. So 2 goes in this domino. Therefore, this is a 3. These squares have got to be a 1, 2 pair. We can do them just using Sudoku power. These are a 1, 3 pair. We can't put the 2 next to the 3, so we can do that straight away. This square is a 3. That square's a 2. This is a 3. That's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 3. That's a 2. That's a 3. That's a 1. That's a 2. And all of the low digits suddenly are done. And I now begin to think I will be able to solve this puzzle, because now that square can't be a 9 because it would connect to a 1 and make 10. That becomes a 7. Now that can't be 8, look, because it would be next to a 2. So that square has got to be a 6 or a 9. That square sees 2, 3 and 4, so can only be a 9. 9, oh lovely, 9 is in this domino, therefore it's not there. That becomes a 6. That becomes a 6 using Sudoku. So where does 6 go in this domino? It can't go next to the 4, so that's a 6. These are 7 and 8. These are 8 and 9. Well, we can't put 8 next to 2. I don't believe it. It's just solving now. This is a 7-9 pair. The 3 is very helpful in that regard. The 7 and the 9 go in. So 9 is now in those two squares. So 9 is now in these. 9 is in these two squares. Let's not put it next to the 1. So this is a 6 by Sudoku just to complete that column. Luckily that 6 is not next to a 4, so it doesn't look like I've made a mistake yet. 9 has to be in one of those two squares. I don't know if we can resolve that. Oh, we can, using the power of Sudoku. Let's do that. Put the 9 in. So these are 6, 7 and 8. No, we can probably do that. I can see this one. This one's got to be 6, 7 and 8 and definitely can't be 6. It would be double whammied by these 4s. So the 6 is in one of those two squares, so it's not here, which we could have seen because there's a 4 there anyway. Now, this square sees 1 and 2. So this has to be 6 or 7. I think it can be either, actually. This one sees 3 and 4, so it needs to be 8 or 9 and can't be 9. That should be an 8. That's a 7 and that's a 6. A 9 can't go here, so 9 is in one of two positions. 9, no, it's not there, it's next to a 1. Let's deal with that. So that's 9. These two squares have got to be 6 and 7. We can see the order using the 4 here. The 9 goes here. That should be 8. That should be 7. These are a 6-9 pair. Not 6-9, 6-8. That would be better if I actually scanned properly. That's 9. This is 7 and 8, which we can do. These are 6 and 7. This is just beautiful. We've got to make sure that we keep the partners apart as best we can. 8 and 9 into those squares. The 9 there is going to be useful. This should be a 6. We've got a 7, 8 here, which is just done by Sudoku. 8 and 7. I've done the puzzle. I do sound surprised. I'll click tick. Yes, it looks good. I have no idea whether or not I've disconnected all possible 5 dominoes and 10 dominoes. I felt like I did, but it's possible I'll have missed something logically during the solve. I hope not. I will have a look during editing, but otherwise I would just like to say to Rob K, that was magnificent. I loved that. Really super puzzle with an unusual set of rules, and yeah, just a brilliantly fun solve. So thanks to Rob. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.